I'm sorry, we'll finish this up here. So as we just need to FOIL these out again. So we're going to start with regrouping. So we turn this into x minus 3 plus I, and then we group the x minus 3 because we want those similar terms grouped together. Okay, so remember when we're working with conjugates that all that inner stuff cancels, so we can simply take our very first term and square it, and we get x minus 3 squared, right? Because I'm taking x minus 3 times x minus 3, and then I'll take x minus 3 times negative I, but I'm also taking x minus 3 plus I, so those are going to cancel. Then I'm going to go ahead, I times negative I gives me negative I squared. All right, now here's where that I comes back into place. Remember that I squared equals negative 1. So negative I squared is equal negative 1, which is just equal to 1. So I can again rewrite this x minus 2 gives me x minus 3 squared plus 1. Okay, now I have x minus 2. And I'm going to go ahead and FOIL my x minus 3. So I have x minus 3 times x minus 3, and then I have that plus 1. So x minus 3 times x minus 3, I get x squared minus 3x plus 9. And then don't forget about that plus 1. Okay. Now I can go ahead and combine like terms. I get x squared minus 6x plus 10. Okay, now we need one more step here in multiplication. We're taking and multiplying these polynomials, and we get x cubed minus 6x squared plus 10x minus 2x squared plus 12x minus 20. Okay, now one more time, combining our like terms, we get x that should be cubed. X cubed minus 8x squared plus 22x minus 20. All right, very similar process to our irrational roots theorem, just working with now complex numbers. Okay, so the very last thing here for today, the last two problems, identify the solutions and then find the solutions. So this first one, how many solutions are we going to have? Well, we look at the degree. It's degree 3, so we know you're going to have 3 solutions. So to find those, we need to solve, right? So we're going to set this equal to 0. Okay, 4 terms. I want to first try factor by grouping. So I am going to first group my first 2 terms and my last 2 terms. I see I can pull out an x squared, and I'm left with x plus 5. Then I see here I can pull out a negative 4, right? Which is going to leave me with x plus 5, which is awesome. That's what I need those to match. And I have x squared minus 4 times x plus 5. And that's set equal to 0, so I can set each term equal to 0. We should be getting pretty good at factoring by now. We have 4 equals x squared. Take that square root. We get plus or minus 2 equals x. Here we get x equals 5. All right, so we have x equals positive 2, x equals negative 2, and x equals 5 gives us 3 answers for a third degree polynomial. Perfect. Now for the second one. Once I see something more than 4 terms, I immediately go to the rational root theorem. So I take my factors of 12, which are 12 and 1, 6 and 2, and 4 and 3. So my leading coefficient here is 1, which is always nice. So my possible roots are plus or minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Okay, and like always, I'm going to start with 1. And my coefficients are 1, 4, 7, 16, and 12. Bring down my 1. 1 times 1 is 1. That gives me 5. 5 plus 7 is 12. 12. That gives me 28. 28 gives me 30, 40. Well, I need a remainder of 0. So I know positive 1 is not a 0. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to negative 1. So again, my 1 drops down. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Here I get 3. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Here I get 4. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. 16 minus 4 gives me 12. 12 times negative 1 gives me negative 12, and I get a remainder of 0. Perfect. So I know that x equals negative 1 is a 0, or x plus 1 is a factor, and I'm left with x cubed plus 3x squared plus 4x plus 12. Now I have 4 terms, so I'm going to try factor by grouping first. I'll group my first 2 terms here and my second 2 terms there. First, I see that I can take out an x squared, so I'm left with x plus 3. And on the second one, I see I can take out a 4, right? And I'm left with, again, x plus 3, which is perfect. So now I have x plus 1, x squared plus 4, and x plus 3. So I want to solve. So I set all of that equal to 0, which I set each term equal to 0. And I get x equals negative 3. X squared equals negative 4. So I take that square root, and I get x equals plus or minus 2i, right? Because I have a negative 4. And I get x equals negative 1. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 answers. It was a 4th degree polynomial, so that is a good check. Okay, and that's all we have for today. So if you have any questions, as always, please reach out, and don't forget to complete the 4.6 homework and formative.